When we analyzed the well-being data, what we saw was that the people who came to the top of the list were business owners, self-employed business owners. The people who didn't do so well, the people who were typically at the bottom of the list, were people employed in manufacturing and transportation workers. So people, for example, working on an assembly line or people driving a bus or a taxi. They were definitely related to income, especially the overall well-being rankings. So we clearly saw that people who make more money tend to be toward the top of the rating. So for example, professionals and business owners who do make a pretty good salary tend to be toward the top. We did see, though, in the area-specific sub-indexes, even closer links between income and well-being. So for example, on basic access, which has to do with things like whether you live in a neighborhood where you feel safe, whether you go to a dentist regularly, whether you go to a doctor regularly, that was very tightly linked to income. So the folks who did best on basic access were the managers and professional workers who clearly have the highest salaries. The people at the bottom of that list were the people who tend to have the lowest salaries, people like construction workers and people in manufacturing. One of the most interesting findings we came across was that people employed in farming, fishing, and forestry did consistently well across many of the sub-indexes. So they not only did well in the overall well-being index, but in a couple of the indexes they came up to the very top of the ratings. So for example, in healthy behavior, this category of workers were at the very top of the list. That was somewhat surprising to me. Another interesting addition to that is that this group did very well despite the fact that they have one of the lowest incomes of any of the 11 groups that we looked at. So they did way better than many groups of people who have income as high as theirs or even incomes higher than theirs. With regard to physical health, the group that did the best was construction workers, although I should say that they were closely followed by a couple of other groups. But construction workers had the highest physical health. And one possible reason for that is the fact that you have to be physically healthy to do that job in the first place.